I, Anil Pawar from Matosri College of Management Research Center. I am giving one lecture on compensation. Compensation. The term compensation means the reward for labor and service. It is the result of agreement between the employer and employee, whereby for a specified work or service returned by the employee, the employer agrees to pay a specified sum of money. Now we see the elements of compensation. First element is non-monetary compensation. Any benefits an employee receives from an employer or a job that does not involve tangible value. Second one is a direct compensation. It includes an employee's base wage, which can be annual salary or hourly wages, and any performance-based pay that an employee receives. Third one is indirect compensation, far more varied, including everything from legally required public protection programs such as social security to health insurance, retirement programs, paid leaves, child care, or moving expenses that are included in indirect compensation. Now we see the definition of compensation according to Terry Lee. Compensation is a broad term pertaining to financial reward received by persons through their employment relationship with an organization. Another definition we see, according to Gary Dresser, compensation means all forms of pay or reward going to employee and arising from their employment. Now we see the objective of compensation. First objective is acquiring qualified person. Compensation needs to be high enough to attract applicant. Second one is retain current employee. Employee may quit when compensation level are not competent, resulting in higher turnover. Third one is ensure equity. Compensation management strives for internal and external equity. Next, reward desired behavior. Pay should reinforce desired behaviors and act as an incentive for those behaviors to occur in the future. Next one is control cost. A rational compensation system helps the organization obtain and retain workers at a reasonable cost. Last one is facilitate understanding. The compensation management system should be easily understood by human resource specialists, operating managers, and employees. Now we see the types of compensation. First one is a direct compensation. It refers to monetary benefits offered and provided to employees in return of the services that they provide to the organization. Second one is indirect compensation. It refers to non-monetary benefits offered and provided to employees in lieu of services provided by them to the organization. Third one is incentives. These are the additional payment to the employee besides the payment of wages and salaries. Next one is a fringe benefit. Fringe benefits include such benefits which are provided to the employees either having long-term impact. Next one is prerequisites. These are the normally provided to managerial personnel either to facilitate their job performance or to retain them in the organization. Now we see the principles of compensation. Law of supply and demand. The law of supply and demand must be taken into account in determining wage rates in the enterprise. Prevailing wage. Prevailing wage for the same category of workers in the same labor market or industry provided a basic to determine wage rates in the company. Ability to pay. Governmental factors. Standard and cost of living. Productivity. Bargaining power. Now we see the factors affecting the compensation. First factor is internal factor that includes ability to pay. A firm which is prosperous and successful has the ability to pay more than the competitive rate. This way it can attract a superior caliber of personnel. Second one is employee. Numerous employee related factors also influence his or her compensation like performance, experience, seniority, potential. Third one is a job requirements. Wages are also influenced by the requirements of the job such as physical and mental requirement. Job evaluation establishes a consistent and systematic relationship among base compensation rates for a jobs. Next one, organizational strategy. The organizational strategy regarding wage also influence employee compensation. Now we see the external factors. In external factors includes law of regulation. Law and regulations impact the remuneration of employee in many areas such as work hours and compulsory time off, that is paid and unpaid, minimum wage, overtime, compulsory bonuses, employment at will. Second one is labor market. Official laws on wage and salary, labor contract, payment time, wage payment delay, working insurance, and so on. Now we see the third point, economy. The state of economy also influence the wage and salary fixation. Then inflation increase the prices of commodities and decreases the value of money is called as an inflation. Then technology changes also influence the fixation of wage levels. Then academic institution, having good academic qualification from reputed and standard educational institution influence the compensation of potential candidates in their requirement. Now we see the concept of compensation management. The compensation management is the organized practice that involves balancing the work-employee relations by providing monetary and non-monetary benefits to employees. Compensation includes payments such as bonuses, profit sharing, overtime pay, recognition, rewards, sales commission. Compensation can also include non-monetary benefits such as company paid car, company paid housing, and stock options. Compensation is an integral part of human resource management which helps in motivating the employee and improving organizational effectiveness. Compensation packages with good pay and benefits can help attract and retain the best employee. A firm compensation scheme also communicate a great deal about the firm's value and culture. Now we see the importance of compensation management. First one is HR strategy. The compensation management is an extremely important piece of overall HR strategy to keep the company commitment and successful. Second one is attract top talent. The compensation management differentiate the organization on the job market and build the attractiveness of the company for the job talent. Next one is distinguish the employee. The compensation management is one of the most successful differentiators. Next one is it brings the differentiation into the organization. It brings the differentiation into the organization as well as successful employee and top talent feel the success of this. Next one is a competitive advantage. The effective compensation management makes people feel the success and they speak about their success with their friends. Manages the personal expenses. The effective compensation management manages the personal expenses of the organization. Next one is speed up innovation process. The successful compensation management gains the competitive advantage and can speed up the innovation process and improve the performance management practices in their organization. Now we see the components of pay structure in India. The main components of pay structure in India are basic salary, incentives, bonuses, employee benefits, provident fund, overtime pay, and allowance. The basic salary is the fundamental components of pay structure. It is the major portion of the employee's compensation. Incentives is a very important components of pay structure. It given additional pay to the regular wages. Bonuses is the payment which given to the worker as a share of the organization profit in the particular year. Employee benefits are the fringe benefits or fringes. They are given to the employee in the addition to the wages and the salary. That is the healthcare benefit, retirement benefit. It is provident fund is the payment which an employee receives after his retirement. Overtime pay is the amount of compensation that an employee receives if he works for extra hours beyond his normal working hours. and different allowance to the given to the employee, such as dearness allowance, house rent allowance, conveyance allowance, leave travel allowance, fixed medical allowance, city compensatory allowance, tiffin allowance, telephone mobile allowance, children education allowance, and hostel allowance.